Tyler, start the timer.
Okay. 10-minute timer starting now.
Okay, we're talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. First, let's start with Tyler, because you're the only one of the three of us that actually saw the theatrical cut of the Justice League. What are the big differences, and do you think that this is better than the original?
The biggest, I think this is slightly better than the original, but I think that counterbalances it because it's 4 hours long. So basically the things that are the same are basically everything leading up until the third act. So like everything like getting the team together, there's like a few things here and there that like are different, but basically everything leading up till when Joe Morton's, this is spoilers also, when Joe Morton's Cyclops' father's character dies. That's basically everything from there on is different. And like the whole time travel thing with Flash is different, all that good jazz. Black Suit Superman, different. Amber Heard, her accent, she has an American accent in Aquaman and the original cut of the Justice League, but in this she has a weird British accent, and that's the weirdest thing that's different. And then also everything like the epilogue and everything was like shot recently. So that's pretty much it. Also Cyborg has a lot more time here. As in a lot more, there's like one more flashback. But yeah, so Cyborg is, people have been calling him the heart and soul of the movie, I guess, if it did have a heart.
I guess, if you have to pick one.
Let's start with Cyborg, just because that is kind of the biggest talking point right now about the differences, is everybody seems to be saying that like the Cyborg in this movie versus the Cyborg in the previous movie is like, oh, there's just like a world of difference. I thought Cyborg was pretty good. For the most part, this movie just made me wish that there was a solo Cyborg movie, because I've always liked Cyborg, and I thought that there was some compelling stuff, and especially Joe Morton. I thought Joe Morton was so good in this movie, even though like by the end of it, he was kind of playing his character from Terminator 2. But Jack, I want to jump into this because this is the first thing I thought of during the football sequence. I was wondering what GCU was like as a football program and where Cyborg would have gotten drafted if he had not had that horrific car accident.
It's one of the greatest what if stories in all of sports history, I think. Cyborg, clearly powerhouse school, GCU, based on this extreme stadium they have. Cyborg showed us, plus mobility, one of the most mobile quarterbacks we've ever seen. Size, built like a goddamn dump truck out there.
Yeah.
I can't tell how good his arm is, but with a body like that, I'm assuming he can sling that thing. My comp would be like Cam Newton in the 2011 draft.
And where do you think he slots in the first round?
Oh, he's going top 2, and he's not going 2.
Yeah, that's good to know. I was kind of astounded that there was a GCU. I just thought that was so weird because like Gotham, there's another line in the movie where someone refers to Gotham as a shithole. I think it was Aquaman early on.
But they got this nice ass football stadium for the local school.
And so many people are there.
So weird.
So many thousands.
Packed.
It's like more packed than the football game in Gotham in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it actually is.
Yeah, it is. Should we talk about Batman a little bit? Coming on. I honestly think this is one of just my favorite looking Batman. Like we were talking about this off mic a bit, but he's like built like a tank, and I just kind of love it. And I think, I don't know, it's kind of sad that Ben Affleck hasn't been able to be in a good movie as Batman, and that's still true to this. Like I don't know. I just think overall it's just like not, he never does anything really.
Ben Affleck as Batman in this movie to me was extremely boring. As Bruce Wayne, he was fine, but as like Batman himself, I'm like, this is a drag.
Yeah, I mean, the movie is basically an ensemble piece, especially because it's 4 hours long, so you spend so much time with all the different characters. But like, Batman is kind of supposed to be the leading character, and as a leading character, he's very uncompelling. His goal is to assemble the team, and he kind of does that, but also not really. Like, everyone comes to the team when they want to. He doesn't really actually do anything. Like, as a protagonist, he's kind of passive for a lot of the movie. Like, he's trying to get the team together, but he doesn't really accomplish all that much.
Also, a big change there too was that when Superman comes back to life in the original, Batman is the one who brings in Lois Lane, But in this version, Lois Lane just shows up. Because she loves Superman or whatever. And like, I think this speaks to a problem of this film is that like, it's not actually a movie. It's more of just like a look at this cool stuff that's happening. There's not really a structure to it that much because the first half just focuses on like the mother boxes and like the Amazonians who I don't give a fuck about. And the like aquariums, the Atlanteans.
That's because Tyler hates women.
Yeah, I hate women and fish. Atlanteans, I hate Atlanteans too. But like they're just not compelling because I don't know anything about them, and like their worlds aren't even that cool because you only see like a corner of it.
Yeah, I want to go back to that Superman return scene just because there were several things that really annoyed me. When Superman comes back, one, I thought it was hilarious that Batman basically just walked to the fight. Like he just wasn't there for a while. He's like, I'll get there because everyone can fly or jump really far. Batman's like, I'll just walk. And then also like Cyborg's auto defense system just turns on and he's like, I can't turn it off. Like you're the most powerful cyborg electronic being that's ever existed. You can control mother boxes and stuff, but you can't turn off your auto defense. You can't control
yourself.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's the moral of the story.
It's an analogy for what Alexa's going to do to us all.
Right. That kind of perfectly segues into something else that I wanted to talk about. And that was like the thematics of the movie. Kind of generally, the movie sort of feints and signals an interest in bigger themes, but then it punches those bigger themes in the face with really big muscles.
Yeah,
big arms.
And all of the characters, at least most of the characters in the Snyderverse, have like real big daddy issues. That's pretty obvious. And I think Zack Snyder's interest in masculinity is like, it's never been more apparent than in this and in 300. The bodies of these people are just like ridiculous, and the absence of like a male role model in the Snyderverse means that these characters end up creating this crazy hyper masculinity that becomes their superhero persona. And like, that's an interesting idea, but at the end of the day, like where the Marvel movies succeed is they are about heroes that are just like us, so you can relate to them. The Snyder heroes are gods, and they are better than us.
What are you talking about? They're not just like us. You've never gone to the ocean and picked a man off a boat, then brought him into a bar, threw him on the table, and just started doing shots?
Yeah,
you know what?
And then just walk into two waves.
Yeah. That's another thing is like there's like such a stark contrast between like dialogue scenes and action scenes in terms of like cinematography.
Totally.
All the stuff, I actually kind of like the first hour of the movie when it's just all the characters just being in
Not
separate
horrible.
Music videos, you know? But then when the action scenes start, it's like horrendous to look at. It's most ugly.
I think that's the best thing about this movie is that just like how like as in like the best thing, not like it's good. But like just like the cinematography is pretty good if it's not a dialogue scene, and like things really look beautiful. Cyborg's flashback looks pretty beautiful. Like again, the color correction is a lot better than it was in the original Justice League. There's like a lot of cool scenes, like the waves coming onto Aquaman and stuff like that. And like it's just a shame that like it's all kind of looks and no substance to it.
Yeah,
there's just so much going on here. There's two things that if you're making a 4-hour movie that are apparent, you have passion and you lack an ability to edit yourself. And both of those things are very clear in this movie.
That's a great point. And in one of those scenes, I mean, there's like so many action scenes that could be cut out of the movie. Like the bank heist with Wonder Woman to start off the movie could be cut out. One action scene that I really did like though was the dark side scene, because like it's just insane. It's like here's Zeus and a Green Lantern and a bunch of
and David Thewlis.
And all these insane people. You don't know who they are, and like they're fighting each other, and they take an axe to Darkseid, and then they skip out. Which brings me to another problem with the movie. There's a line where Steppenwolf is like, "I found anti-life. It's here on Earth," and then Desaad is like, "Wait, what?" And I started thinking, like, wait, you don't remember? You don't remember that Earth is where you got your ass handed to you? That's nuts.
It's like,
I know it's been thousands of years.
Yeah,
but like,
I do this so much. I just destroy worlds all the time. I don't remember anything.
I've destroyed 100,000 worlds.
I do think in the third act, that Darkseid sequence is also kind of cool, where he wins for a second, and then Flash goes back in time, and then they cut off Steppenwolf's head, which is like ridiculous, and then Darkseid just steps on it. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty cool shot, just in general and concept. But
Yeah, that's
but besides
pretty fun.
that, there's not much else that works as a movie. Like I think there's a lot of fun moments, but not a lot of like structurally sound movie choices made.
Yeah, and then the whole epilogue makes no sense.
Yeah, the epilogue is ridiculous, and Jared Leto's Joker. If I had one thing to say about Jared Leto's Joker, it's all right, and that's time. And this has been the Nothing Notable podcast. I've been Tyler.
I've been Daniel.
I've been Jack.
And thank you for listening to our 10-minute review on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we'll see you next time.